I believe the most powerful thing you can do for success or happiness, whatever it is all to do with your mind. Visualizations, journaling, anything to do with your thought and mastering your subconscious mind. I believe that is the most important thing for success. Now, who am I to talk? I haven't done anything serious yet in my life. I haven't made $1 billion or grown this channel to 2 million subscribers or 20 million, whatever, fucking Mr. Beast level kind of things yet. Okay. I haven't done any of that as of recording this video. I only got 7,000 views and 100 subscribers, so who am I to talk? But I've read a lot of books, and a common theme I've seen in all of these books, regardless of what it's talking about. I've read a couple books on making money and developing skills in sales, charisma, fucking relationships, storytelling, just random things. Most books that I've read, non-fiction ones that aren't telling stories and stuff like that, they all always say something about the subconscious mind and visualizing and thinking something every single time. I haven't read a book that hasn't said, oh, you gotta get this idea and thought in your subconscious mind and eventually it'll become a reality. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck. But here's the thing, if it's as simple as that, how come nobody has done it? How come everyone isn't millionaires and all of that kind of stuff? You have a book like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. What is that, a bestseller? Millions of copies have been sold. And I've read that book, and he's always saying, you gotta get your subconscious mind, and you gotta think these things, and all of that kind of stuff. And then how come these millions of people who bought the book haven't, achieved that success? And then I realize, it all comes down to taking action, The millions of people that buy the book, probably 70% of them actually open the book and read the title page inside it. Maybe 30% make it through the first 2 chapters, and 10% probably read it cover to cover. Maybe 5% take action on it for about a week. Maybe 0.002% are the people that actually persist with taking action, they're consistent with it, and they do the steps that are listed in the book, and then they actually fucking reach the success. I honestly, I don't know. Who am I to talk? I'm just a young kid. I wouldn't know anything. Maybe. But this is something that I've just found very interesting, and I really want to make a video on that. Get a discussion going or something, because this is some deep shit. Because books are basically the knowledge from the people who've succeeded in the thing you want to do. It's reading is the most incredible habit task thing out there, because it's if you want to learn something, there's a book on that. Book written by someone who's achieved the thing you want to achieve. So it's literally getting mentored, getting taught by this person, this great successful person, and they're teaching you what you want to learn. They put it in the form of a book. And that plane's right over our damn head. It's I don't know, I'll just grab one. Yeah, here's a fun one. It's Storyworthy by Matthew Dix. It's a book about telling stories and stuff, which I need to read this book so I can tell more engaging stories on this YouTube channel and not be super boring, you know what I mean? So that's a skill I want to learn. I want to learn how to tell stories, and this guy, Matthew Dix here, he's a really good storyteller. He literally mentioned I think it was the introduction of the book, that he met his wife, and his wife found him really hot because of the way that he told stories and the way he spoke to her, and the rest is history, I suppose. And yeah, that's the skill. So what I want to do is learn from this guy how to tell stories. He's basically teaching me because he's written down his lessons in these 290 pages of book. So reading is really incredible. Anything you want to learn, you can learn it through the book or through YouTube. Well, my screen's there, but there's millions of ways to learn things out there. And I found a very common thing in all of these skills teaching sort of book fucking thing, whatever. They always say visualizations, subconscious mind, good thoughts, thinking. Those words are always popping up all the damn time. So it's quite clear that a key to achieving anything you want in life is to believe you can do it and think about it. And it's just the old saying, they say, if you don't think you can do it, you never will, and if you believe you can, you can. And as cliche as that is, it's true. I haven't done anything like substantial yet, obviously, but I have done certain things before where I'm just like, I set my mind on this thing and I just believe it and I ingrain it in my subconscious mind, and then it happens, it works. I'm like, oh, how's that? That's really cool. So that's something I want you to take away from this video. Believe you can do something, and if there's anything you want to learn, get a book on it and read it. And perhaps you'll find the same thing as me, that all of these books are always talking about visualizations. I can just list a few. There's The Charisma Myth, The Psychology of Selling, The Secret, Think and Grow Rich. There's a handful of others. I can't think of them off the top of my head right now, but there are a lot of books that they all speak about subconscious mind and thinking the right thing, thinking good thoughts, happy thoughts, feeling good about yourself, not feeling shit and, disgust and low energy. I'm actually going to go and try it. I'm going to go and find this thing right now for you. This is, what is it called? The Emotional Wavelength. How do you... It's like a pyramid. It's like something like... Yeah, right, I got it. Okay. This is something very interesting here. It's a very professional video too. Right, I gotta set the thing. Hold on, bear with me, please. Here we are. All right. So, you see on this thing, the vibrational frequency, right? You want to be at the top of the list by enlightenment, peace, joy, love, reason, acceptance, ultimate consciousness. You want to be at the top. But at the bottom, we have shame, guilt, grief, fear, desire, anger, all of those, the bad things, they're down at the bottom. And what happens when you feel guilt and shame? You're just jerked off in your bed, and you watched porn, you indulged in the sugar that you shouldn't have, you cheated on your diet, you didn't exercise today, and you feel shame and guilt, and shame is literally the worst one. So you don't want to ever feel shame in your life. You're better off to just delude yourself a bit, to feel a bit of, love and reason and acceptance of yourself and who you are. You're better off to just feel good about yourself. Take a screenshot of this thing. I'll get my little watermark out of the way for you. Take a screenshot of that and remember this thing. The emotions you want to feel are enlightenment, peace, joy, love, and reason. And if you want to know how to feel enlightenment, you click that top link in the description. And I have a whole series on my YouTube channel called Journey to Enlightenment. It was about a month where I just recorded my thing on getting to enlightenment, and I made myself the happiest I've ever been, and I very much need to do that again. So now you have a screenshot. I'm taking that away from you. So that's it. You want to feel those good thoughts, enlightenment, joy, love. They're very powerful. They'll make you happy. And if you're on that top of the wavelength, not only are you going to attract good things in your life, supposedly, but you're also going to be really damn happy while doing it. You're going to feel good. You're going to walk around with a smile on your face. You're going to appreciate the nature, the sky, the birds, the the fucking grass and the trees, regardless of the weather or whatever's happening, you're going to be a happy little bunny. And it's going to be really good. Your life is going to be awesome. All because you decided to prioritize on feeling good. You know, how do you feel good? Well, you stop doing the things that make you feel bad. You know, you're indulged in porn all the time and it makes you feel like shit. Well, quit porn. How do you do that? Well, fuck me. That is one hell of a big process. It takes a lot of people years to get rid of that shit. Again, top link in the description. I can help you with that when I record the module. But just join it anyway. There are ways you can quit the bad habits and the things that make you feel like shit. And then start doing things that make you feel good. Get new habits. Reading is one of them. You know, there's people that hate reading because honestly, school's really fucked up the way that we think of reading. It honestly it has. I'm gonna go on a bit of a side tangent. You know, we used to get some shitty, boring ass book that is fucking insufferable, and I'm sorry to fans of this one, like fucking The Great Gatsby. Oh my lord, they made me read that crap a few years ago when I was in like year 10, and it was insufferable, and I was like, God, reading is so shit. Like, why would I want to do this? Like, because I'm reading a fucking boring ass book. That's why. It's just trash. It's like, I don't see any value in that. And a lot of people have the same thing. They're like, reading. I had this guy comment on my video. He's like, reading is boring as. It's like watching paint dry. And I was like, man, there's no argument against that. You know, if you're reading a shitty book, that's what it's going to feel like. Which is why you have to get a book that you enjoy. Something that actually draws you in, you know. And it's not going to be something like a book about how to tell a fucking story to someone. It's not going to be anything like that at first. Like the first book that I ever read, it's not this exact copy, but it's this one, the Hobbit from Tolkien, you know. That was the first book I ever read, and I enjoyed it. I wasn't reading to, you know, become a super genius fucking wisdom guy. I was just reading for the fun of it, because I wanted to build up that habit and actually start to enjoy reading and repair my mindset of reading from the way school took a big dump on it. And then I moved on. I read The Lord of the Rings. I started reading Harry Potter, and then I started branching off. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to try reading some non-fiction stuff. I got books and things that are deeply rooted to my values and things that I care about. And then I got a few books on like skills and shit like that, and some Stoic philosophy stuff, and now I read every single day. And I look back at myself a couple years ago, a guy who never used to read, and to me now I'm like, wow, that's a huge change over 2 years, mind you. 2 years I've read, I don't know, probably like 20 or something books, full cover to cover. I've read easily 50, 60 books, maybe 70 or 80. That's not fully, that's not cover to cover, that's like at least read like a decent portion of it. And it's changed my life. It's changed the way I see things, and it's made me a happier person, because instead of spending all my time scrolling on the phone, which is another habit that's fucking up your mental health, instead of doing that, you know, I'm sitting down and I'm like on a nice comfy chair, you know, I've probably got the window open. I would have the window open now if the glare didn't make me turn into a shadow. And I'd just be there reading, and, you know, sometimes I would just stop, you know, look around, take a deep breath and go, man, life is good. And, you know, a lot of people say, oh, well, I don't have time for reading. And to the people who say that they don't have time for reading, all I can say is just look at your screen time. But the 40 minutes of scrolling on TikTok is to wind down, and it's not even that long anyway. And I'm like, yeah, well, you're not really winding yourself down on TikTok. You're winding yourself up. It's stimulating your brain. It's, you know, content after content after da. It's like going after you like that, and that's not winding you down. That's winding you up. You know, reading is winding you down, because like the guy said, it's like watching paint dry. It's slow, it takes forever. And if you can spend 40 minutes on TikTok, you can spend 40 minutes on a book, and that's about like one chapter a day. It's like 20-ish pages. You know what they say, 2 minutes a page. Yeah. 20 pages a day is pretty good. So if you can change your habits around and replace the ones that are making you feel these no, I'm not supposed to change my screen. You change the ones that are making you feel guilt and shame and whatever the hell that one is, and grief, fear, and you get rid of those, and even desire as well. We get urges to scroll on TikTok, to watch porn, and to do all that other jazzy stuff. But that's bound to happen. You can't really throw that one away. When you feel desire, you just gotta immediately try and find a way to feel love and joy. Gratitude journal and smile, talk to people, have good social connections. Join my link in the description and talk to people there. And that's it. Destroy the habits that make you feel those shitty things and replace them with habits that make you feel good. The delayed gratification is better than the instant gratification. What's that? Instant gratification is shit that feels good in the now, but in reality it just makes you feel bad and destroys your life in the long run. And these planes, man, not even my microphone can save me from that. Oh, that's horrendous. Flying right over my head. And then delayed gratification, something that isn't as fun right now. It's kind of boring. It's like reading and meditating, but in the long run, it makes you really damn happy. It changes your life. You might just stumble on a book that gives you an insight that completely revolutionizes the way you think. I had that happen to me. I don't remember which book I was reading. It was one of them. There's too many books around me. I don't know which one it was. I think it was Hard Times Create Strong Men by Stefan Arnio. I'll pull it up. This is a controversial book, by the way. It challenges a lot of values that a lot of people think of today and the way the world works. It's a very very controversial book. It's this one right here. And not a lot of people wouldn't like this thing. It literally says, do not read this book if you are easily offended. Burn this book instead. So, yeah, if you are easily offended, no shame. Just don't ever buy this thing, ever. But yeah, that book completely changed the way that I think. It gave me a whole new outlook on life. And if you can find a book that revolutionizes the way your mind works and the way you think, that's a really good book. Unless it's for the worse. If you read a book that turns you into a complete psychopath, that's not a good thing. And I hope that doesn't happen to anyone. But a book that changes your thinking for the better and makes you a better person and has you achieve better things and do more, that's a book that you want to read. And for me, that was this book. For a lot of people, it won't be. For some people, it could be a completely different book. It might even be a book that tells you how to tell stories. It could be. It could be anything, and that's the beauty of reading. You're learning good things from a book every now and then, but then sometimes you get one that really fucking hits you hard, and it really teaches you something different. And that's the magic of it. That's why I love reading so much, because it gives me so many insights, and I've started to collect them all. Oh, God, man. This is a long video. I don't know how many people are still here. And I've started to collect them all into like these note card things. This is something that I learned from Ryan Holiday. You should definitely check that guy out on YouTube. I'll show you to my competitors. And it's just, what he says to do is, whenever you get an insight, you get like one of these like fucking study cards, these things that they probably whacked on your face at school that sort of traumatizes you from it. But then you get an insight and you just write it down here. I wrote this one today. I was reading about sleep. It's a book called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, and I was just pretty shocked when I read that they did a study of 470,000 people, and they found that the ones with poor sleep were at a 45% greater risk of coronary heart disease. That's fatal and non-fatal, and they were at this greater risk within 7 to 25 years, which is crazy. But what the crazy part is? It's what I wrote on the back, is all of these studies were done with young and healthy people. So that's an insight that I got. It shows the importance of sleep, and now having read that, I'm like, oh, well, fuck, I got to take better care of my sleep. You got to get a good long sleep, and that's, an insight that is probably going to change my life. It's an insight that's probably going to stop me from having a fucking heart attack at 40 years old. And, maybe you listening to that, thinking you're there on your side of the screen, you're going, oh, fuck, what the... That's horrendous. That's crazy. 45% risk of coronary heart disease just from having bad sleep. Doesn't matter how healthy you are, how fit you are. And it's like, whoa. Now you've had that insight. Now that's going to change your life and the way you live, and probably give you an extra 30 years of living. And all that came from me sitting down with this book. I'm not even kidding. I just randomly grabbed it and opened it and started reading, and my jaw dropped, and I was like, oh, what the hell have I got myself into? And that was it. I just spent that, it was about 10 minutes in the morning, just reading, and I had an insight that changed my life, literally today, this morning. I have a thing here that says live my niche. I have to read, so, because of how much I talk about it. And oh wow, I've gotten a bit off topic with this whole tangent about reading. I could foresee it coming, but that's reading is a habit that has changed my life, and it's something that I really want to promote. So you gotta be reading. It's it really changes you. And yeah, back to the original point of this video. What I said, just a quick refresher. Visualizations, thinking good things, and you want to get on the right wavelength of emotions. This is your last chance to screenshot it. That thing, you need to get enlightenment, peace, joy, love, reason, acceptance. You need to get all of those. The higher you are, the better. You're going to feel good. You're going to live a great life. And this is the last time I say this, I swear. If you just join that top link in the description, it's a free community, okay? It doesn't cost you a thing. And if you're here 23 minutes in this video, if you're here, you've actually watched this whole thing, then you bloody belong in that community. I'm telling you right now. Trust me. Join that community, and we're all going to try and work our way to get to the top of this thing. That's our goal. To feel enlightenment, peace, joy, love, and all the other good shit at as many moments as possible. We don't want to be feeling the shitty emotions and stuff like that. Obviously, it's going to happen every now and then, but the more you feeling good and you're just navigating life without constantly feeling disgust or ashamed and guilty of yourself, the better you're going to be, and the more good things you're going to attract. And I'm certain of that. So yeah, you better hit that link down below right now and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, that's it for this one. A bit of a long yap session from me, but you've stayed through to the end here. I'm sure that this one video here can change your life. But if you just forget about everything that I said and you just move on to the next one, the next one, and the next one, then, well, all that time is just gone down the drain. This video, maybe get out a sheet of paper and just write down a few things you learned and you remember from this video, the emotional frequency thing, maybe the sleep thing if you want to, and reading and the importance of it. And you gotta find a book that you enjoy. You can't just read a shit book that you can't stand. You got to find one you enjoy. Now, if you're trying to read a book that you didn't enjoy, like here's an example for me. I tried to read this book a while ago because I wanted to learn about willpower and shit, and I couldn't do it. It was just boring as. So you know what I did? I just put the book away, and I'm going to come back to it soon because now I'm, more more smart to read a science-heavy studying book like that. You never step in the same river twice, so a book you hated a few years ago, you might love it now. And that's it for this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.